anything at all. Is it because
There we
this-
go.
Wait, is that going through here though?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. All right, Bridget, let us know if you can hear us. Okay. Thumbs up. Perfect. Great. Okay, thank you. I just always want to double check that first.
Instead of sitting there like, this is just sitting, nothing, no one's talking. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Nadrich. I'm the Director of Recruiting at Renaissance Financial. A little bit, I always like to start off talking about me a little bit. Is that way you know who it is that you're talking to? Along with technical difficulties. Okay, fine now.
Thank you. Let's see.
Oh, I felt it. Yep. Okay, we're good to go. So I have been in the recruiting space for just shy of 10 years. That makes me feel very old, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore outside of that. And have been there, done that within any industry that I've worked in, any job that I've tried to hire, whether it be entry level to internship to hiring people in C-suite. Everything that I've done has been primarily through LinkedIn. So seeing how effective it is globally, I've hired in Mexico, Bogota, India, Australia, London, all of them using LinkedIn, seamless. So this is a tool that gives you opportunities for employment, both in school and out of school. Having the framework and foundation set up for that is what's going to set it apart and make it so you guys are able to get in front of the dream jobs that you're looking for and the connections that you're looking to have as well. I'm originally from St. Louis, moved to Kansas City through Mizzou as well, so made my way over here. I've loved it ever since. Another random fun fact that I feel like you guys get to know me better is I have a golden retriever. And so that is my first child that I have. And she turns 10 in January, which also makes me feel old. So fun times. A bit about the company that I work with. So Renaissance Financial has been around. They're celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. So it's a big year for them. Their headquarters in this area as well. And they have, oh, yep. There we go. Ah, no, now it's not opening in PowerPoint. The edge one? Left. Yep, I see it. I just clicked the wrong one. Okay. So they have 5 offices now. They've expanded. So we're in Kansas City, Omaha, Phoenix, Arizona, and our Salt Lake City, Utah office just celebrated a 1-year anniversary. So they're growing at a pretty good rate, making sure that they're being intentional with the markets that they choose. What we do is comprehensive financial planning. We have people come in as advisors. We also have staff roles as well within that space. It's very much a collaborative team environment that we're looking for like in the office spaces. A big piece I always want to touch on for whether or not you're interested in financial advising, if you are, talk to me afterwards. Financial planning is huge because it is expensive to exist as a human at this point. So having your money do more for you is critical, whether it's businesses, understanding loans, whether it's families, understanding how to best set up financial freedom. The point of being a financial analyst and advisor is to help people find financial freedom. And that is the core of what Renaissance Financial does, is just help those in their community within that space of it. A big piece that we do is summer internships. We also do full-time opportunities for advisors, but this is internship season. So our internship is 8 to 10 weeks in the summer. What it does is it pulls back the curtain on advising. You're going to get to work with advisors one-on-one, get more of an understanding of how do they get a book of business? How do they brand themselves in their community? What do they do on a daily basis since it's not a 9-to-5 job? Getting more insights, working with other interns collaboratively across all 5 offices, and just being able to get a lot of hands-on experience. So by the time that you graduate, you are able to be outside of that program knowing if you want to be a financial advisor or not. Again, if that's something that interests you, let me know after class. We can chat more about that. But other than that, we're going to jump right into LinkedIn because we have a lot of things to cover. So the biggest thing I do when I talk about different groups and organizations and platforms is give kind of a background because it helps to understand what you want to achieve from it. So LinkedIn, what would you guys say if you were to define LinkedIn? What would you say is the definition of it? Yes. Social networking website, professional Facebook. That is exactly what it is. So this is something that is going to be used to be able to make it where you get connected, whether it's for job opportunities or whether it's just simply to grow and expand your network, potential clients, potential people that you're going to partner and work with. Some interesting things is obviously it's number one recruiting tool for recruiters across the globe, but it also launched in 2003 and it did not have a profitable month until 2006, which is crazy when you think about that. It is officially owned by Meta, so same company as Facebook, so it truly is a professional Facebook. And a big piece that we'll get into later is the differences between the two. What are things you can and cannot post, should and should not post, the myths around those pieces about how professional is professional. What is this tool supposed to be used for in that space? The LinkedIn trifecta and what we're going to focus on today are three different things, which is knowing your purpose and brand, actively engaging, and optimize search. The core piece, clear purpose and brand. Before you can have a LinkedIn page, you have to know why you are going to have a LinkedIn page, because otherwise there is no point of having one. You'll see that there is a goal behind everything that you do on LinkedIn. What is your target audience? Who are you trying to reach? That will change the tone of what you are going to be posting, sharing, liking, engaging. Who are you following? Who are you reaching out to on that space and platform? Knowing that piece will help to guide what you're going to be doing and using that LinkedIn page for. The actively engaging is going to change how you are viewed across the platform. It's going to make it much easier when you are having different traction, liking, following, sharing, commenting, posting. It's going to make it to where when you post, it shows more frequently. We all know the algorithm and the fact that if you do certain things, it's going to change how it's viewed and the traction that it gets. Actively engaging is a big piece of that. It's also something that we see that. We see what it is that you're doing on LinkedIn. Every like, every share, everything is something that you can do on a LinkedIn page. So keep that in mind as well, so that recruiters can go in and see what are you following and what are you interested in. It's also a great way to look and apply at opportunities. Pretty much everyone under the sun puts their jobs out on LinkedIn. So if you want a single source and a place to be able to see what internships, job opportunities, anything along those lines, LinkedIn is a great starting point. Because not only does it have a job posting, a lot of times it directly lets you apply to it. They have a great ability to do that for a lot of companies to make that ATS system talk to each other. When it comes to optimized search, it's very big on keywords. So when you know that you're applying to maybe a larger company where there's going to be thousands of applicants across the country, those keywords are probably something that's going to filter through to where they're going to sift through those resumes to see which ones are a percentage match. And then the recruiter see, oh, this person's a 98% match. We probably should talk to them. So there's things that filter out. Smaller companies like mine, we look at every single resume. So it's me who's looking at all of those for Kansas City, but not every company does that. So keep in mind with your profile that those keywords, the words that you choose, be intentional with them, because that's really going to impact what it is that you're going to have pull up and how your resume will be reviewed as well too. Even if it's me looking at it, I'm looking at a ton of resumes. If I know it's a technology role and they have to have a specific type of Python that coding that they know, I'm seeing those resumes trying to find those keywords because that's going to whittle down what I'm looking for. And that's just the cold hard truth at the end of it. Some roles have certain skills that you have to have. So make sure that they are covered on not just your LinkedIn, but your resume as well. Again, it's the post, comment, like on the optimize the algorithm page. A lot of people will say, you know, if you really want to capitalize LinkedIn, be posting 2 times a month, you should be commenting 2 times a week, you should be liking 2 times a day. That is the consistency that they want to see. You should be on that every day, you should be engaging, you should be doing different things, and that is going to completely change what audience is going to see the post that you want to do. However, not a lot of us are here for that type of piece, so you do not have to follow that, you don't have to optimize that. That's just for people who really use their own company, their branding, their image, that they are trying to gain bigger audience on a LinkedIn platform as well. Any questions on the high level pieces? There's a lot of stuff up front. We'll dig in more, I promise. Okay. This is the piece that we'll talk about more. So with LinkedIn, it is overwhelming how many fields there are. Fill in as many as you can. The most critical piece, please try to get a headshot. There's a beautiful thing here at UMKC where they have so many available places to get them taken, and you can do it on your own times. I can't tell you how many other universities only do it at the fall career fair and that's it. The fact that you have access to that 24/7 is very rare. Take advantage of that because it is expensive to get headshots down the road that are professional. So make sure that you have that, use it, upload it, because then if I am going through all the resumes from the career fair and I can't remember your name, and I pull up your LinkedIn profile and I go, oh, that's right, I remember that person. Now, all of a sudden, it makes it easier for me to remember the conversation that we had and who you were, instead of just being a name on a piece of paper. So that also helps you to stand out more. It's a big piece, but making sure that you have that profile picture is something that's going to make it to where you're easier to identify and people to remember you from conversations that they had. The cover image is great to be able to provide insight as to who you are. So it's something that some people will put like maybe a sports team that they follow. Maybe it is their own business logo. Maybe it's something that they're passionate about, like horseback riding. It is completely unique to you, but make sure that that's something that you have in there as well to complete your whole profile of who it is that you have. The most important piece is the intro. Honestly, all of the rest of it is wonderful pieces to see, but that is the top piece that you'll see within that space. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I believe. Yep. Click the wrong one. Where is, if I were to go to,
Oh, like the image.
yes,
What is the same page of the presentation? And then you can move that top bar.
it was there the whole time. I just couldn't see it because of that. Look at that. This bar and I, we go back and forth quite a bit. Okay, so welcome to my LinkedIn. Isn't this a lovely place to be? I like to show you guys what it looks like when I search people. And today we're going to look at Whitney for a second. And here is what I'm going to show you. If I were to type in Whitney's name, this is what I see before I even click on it. So if you have a very common name, let's say, unfortunately, your name is John Smith or Jane Doe, and I were to pull you up and there's 7 different pieces, I'm going to find out which is the person that I talked to because of the information on this top piece. This is so critical to have this, make it to where people and recruiters can identify who you are, because odds are somebody else in this world has your name as well. And so making sure that they can see clearly, I know from the picture, I know from the title, I know from the area, I know from where the work is and the connections, it makes it very clear and easy to see who she is and where she is in her space. So for a lot of people that are, yeah, for instance, see, I can make it seem easier. If I was not friends and I saw all of these different Whitney Vaughns, I can tell who it is simply by those pieces there. So this person, you can tell they're in the KC area. You can tell that they have, hey, you guys are mutuals with the same name. I love that so much. I have questions for later. Incredible. That might be one of my favorite things that I have learned in a long time. But you can see there's other people in Denver, so that knocks out and lets me know. So making sure that you keep this updated, your location and where you're based at is very important. And then also making sure that you have your title or what it is you're looking for. This is that intro piece. So you could have this simply say, majoring in financial advising at University of Missouri, Kansas City. You could have this be simply what it is you're aspiring for. Aspiring pediatric nurse at UMKC. Whatever it is that summarizes what your goal is of this platform, that is what this bio line is. So it doesn't have to be, if your job right now has nothing to do with what you want to be outside of college, don't put it in there. Put in your major and what you want to do. That is a critical piece, because if I see that you are a manager at a local restaurant, but that's not at all what you want to do. You want to be a marketing specialist. I want to see marketing specialist at University of Missouri, Kansas City, or something along those lines. Does that all make sense? Okay. So the next piece on this is the core brand information. So a big piece about this is the about section, the experience, and the articles that you can pin. This is the meat and potatoes. This is basically going to be talking about, and I'll pull up mine so you can see it as well too. So a big piece here, and within this space, when you're looking at it, this is the about. You can make this as short or as long as you want to. It does not matter. Mine is longer because of the experience that I have. I break it out in different ways. This is core pieces about me, and it includes fun pieces that make it to where they remember who I am on that aspect. The about is a summary of you as a person. Think of it, and we'll talk about it later. Think of it as an elevator pitch. That is what this about section is. We're going to build that. That's going to be a workshop piece in a minute. Further down in this space, you will see the experience. This is a summary of your resume. This is not your resume. Please do not put your entire resume on here. You want to put the bullet points, the key pieces that you learned within that space. So for instance, mine will change depending on what it is. I simply put in a paragraph that summarizes what I did. Some people will also do bullet points, which I did here. You can do what it is that you want to have as pieces that you summarize in that. A really good one, gosh, who is a great example of someone that has a lot of areas within that? Because you can also tag articles in this. So this area, when you go into the edit section, if you have an article that you published or something that you're a part of, you can post that in this area and it will take you directly to it. And that is a phenomenal way to add in more pieces to this without having to add in anything else that's more words on it. It's simply a link to an article. Making sure that you summarize this tells me what you gained in that experience. It's really, really helpful because just telling me, like for now, director of recruiting, me being here currently, I haven't updated this yet. It tells you nothing of what I'm doing in this job. It tells you nothing of what my strategic goals are, my accomplishments, or anything along those lines. So keeping it updated and tailored towards what you want to do. What are your transferable skills? No matter what your job is, I guarantee you there's at least 1 or 2 transferable skills to the industry that you want. Whether it's managing people, whether it's understanding how to operate in quick thinking, fast on your feet situations, whether it's organization, time management, something that you can show along those lines, there's something that's transferable. Make sure you highlight those pieces because it's going to make people more interested in you for the job that you are wanting to apply for. Because again, this is a high level resume that I'm going to be looking at. Is if I'm looking at you on LinkedIn, I don't have your resume. So I'm using this as the front base to be like, should I reach out to get it? This is what you're doing to grab them, to make them want to reach out and get more information from your resume. Another piece of what you can do in this space, as I said, you can see post comments, images, any of those things. So anything that I post, you can go through and see it, which makes sense. You can also see all of my comments that I do going through here. And you can see sometimes it's not that deep, guys. It is comments that you can say whatever it is that you're looking at and making sure that as long as it's not profane or anything along those lines, this is a social platform for that purpose. This was a friend celebrating that I hired like 10 years ago who's still in that role and got promoted to a director, and real sweet moment. So that's what that was from. But there's a lot of things you can do within this that you can post, that you can have. And when searching people, I can even see what you like, especially in LinkedIn Recruiter. So anything that you're liking out there, it will show me what companies you're interested in, what you're following, and what you're interested in. So another piece in here is pinning articles, especially depending on what it is that you're doing. This is a huge piece. I do not have any pinned. They will show directly underneath. If I had major jobs that I was looking at, I can pin a job as well. So this shows up directly underneath your bio, and it's going to make it to where people can see major things that are happening. Sometimes people post things and pin things from their company that are really exciting, different awards, different achievements, things like that. Quite frankly, I probably should get some pinned on here, but those are things that you can do as well and have pinned articles in that space. Any questions around those pieces so far? Yeah. You're talking LinkedIn Premium. Great question. I don't have it. This is all just standard LinkedIn. Quite frankly, you don't need it. I have my work one that is LinkedIn Recruiter, which is, it looks totally different. It looks more like a back end side. I can create projects, download resumes, pull everything within it. LinkedIn Premium, the really only purpose is if you are going to be messaging a lot of people, because otherwise you are limited to so many messages per month. That is the biggest plus side to LinkedIn Premium. So you can evaluate if that's something helpful for you. Quite frankly, usually most people do not need the premium. You are going to be able to get what you need outside of that, of just knowing who is within that company and then being able to reach out to them either through that, through their website, applying, finding things, finding the jobs to apply to directly, all of those fun pieces. I'm glad that you brought that up, because one thing too that is really helpful, if you were to see, let's see, if I click on this job, does it show? Sometimes on these, it shows you who posted the job. So always look and see, because on occasion, it will show you who is the person that posted that role. And then you could be able to reach out to them directly. Let's see. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But when you're going through this, you can tell there's a lot of roles. They'll give you a lot of details. You'll be able to see what's happening, how many applicants are in there too. If you see it's over 1,000, know that you're probably not going to hear back. That means that that role has been out there for a long time. And that means that that recruiter is in deep trying to get through that resume. It might be a resume or a job that's out there evergreen. You have no idea on that piece of it. But just making sure that you're keeping track of these pieces of how many applicants, 38 applicants, just a week old. So there's a lot of opportunity within certain spaces and what you're looking at. But just making sure that you're paying attention to who it is that have the qualifications, what you're looking for. A big thing as well. If you see in a job description, base qualifications and desired qualifications, keep in mind, this is what you have to have for the role. This is not. You do not have to have this. This is just nice to haves is what they call it. These are must-haves. These are nice to haves. So don't let anything here keep you from applying to that job, because that is not something that's a deal breaker for the role. There's a reason that they break that out, because we're saying, hey, if you want to be a rock star candidate, here's what we're looking for in a dream world. However, to succeed in this role, this top part is what's needed within that space. And that happens a lot. That's a lot of jobs that I've posted in the years that I've done this, almost all break it out that way. So it's pretty common that you'll see things like that. So keep that in mind. Great questions. You can also save them and keep a track of who is where and what roles are going on. If it's something that you're interested in, you can follow companies. I highly recommend, if you're interested in enrolled at a company, follow them. This is going to tell you here, if you're looking at jobs, this right here will tell you, who is this company? What is it that I'd be working for? What is it that they do? How many people are on LinkedIn that they have? It's going to give you some high level information if you're not super familiar with who that company is, and you want to get to understand them more. You can do it directly from LinkedIn. Again, one-stop shop. It's great. Other pieces, making sure that you stay active within it. So making sure that you are posting, liking, following organizations that you're interested in. Understand why, making sure that you have that ability, because that's going to curate your feed. After years and years, it's the same as Facebook. It is going to heavily curate what you're seeing, what industries, what areas. So be aware of that, that the more variety you have, more industries and more things you will see on your Facebook feed. Outside of that, it's going to be very different. And it looks very much people in your network, people that you know of that are reposting things. This was super cool, by the way, in case anybody's curious. And just different stuff that exists on this space of people that you know that are posting different fun things that they're doing. Organizations, in case you're interested in organizations here at UMKC, they're probably posting what they're up to. So now you can stay in touch with things happening on your campus through a social platform as well. Yeah. Unless you are commenting profanity, I've never seen it happen before. So the only time is if you are picking arguments with people, and that happens a lot more and more on LinkedIn. People will go on there, get in comments and start fights. So that is something that might deter someone, because they're going, why is this person going on to LinkedIn and picking arguments in the comments? What is going on that is what they choose to do with their time? Sometimes it's good conversations that are had within that, conversations that need to be had. Sometimes it's very clear that they're just out there for a fight. So that is what they're looking for, is profanity and how are they treating their community, especially depending on what you want to do. If it's a role that has nothing to do with social media, they may not even look at your comments and likes. They may never even pay attention to that. But if you're going into marketing, media, social, anything of those nature, they are checking that, because that is what you will bring to the company. And that is part of the brand that you will present as well in your role. So that very much depends on it. Again, if you're going to a nursing role, they're not looking at anything deep on your profile. I guarantee it. It is straightforward. Can you do this job or not? So that's something to keep in mind too, is who is your audience that you're going to be looking and evaluating on this space. Good question. Yeah. I mean, it's a public platform in the sense that anyone who's it's not the same as Facebook where you hide everything and you have your private place. It is intended to be a connection base. It is intended to be a place where people can find you. Whereas Facebook is meant to be able to connect with your friends and keep it more private and personalized. LinkedIn is intended to be a connection hub and make it to where people can find your content, because that is the point of the platform. And it's a big difference between the two.
But the things you on there that will 24/7, never leave it, nothing.
You can take it down, but things on the internet live forever, so always keep that in mind. Someone somewhere could screenshot it. It exists somewhere on the back end of the web. But yeah, you can always improve posts. You can edit posts, same things along those lines with any social media. But at the end of the day, the internet's forever. So whatever's on there, somebody could have screenshotted.
So, um,
That's also a plus side of premium is it shows you that. But yes, it will tell you like, hey, people are viewing your page. It'll tell you sometimes who. Premium, it will tell you the exact person that is. So yes, you can see that, especially if you have premium. You can see just how much traction your page is getting, who is viewing it, and that gives you a lot of insights too. Like if a recruiter is viewing it, then you can know that they're probably interested and will probably be reaching out. So that gives you a lot of insights. That's a great question. All right. Final piece on this, and then we're gonna get to stuff where I promise you'll actually be doing things and I will stop talking at you. I promise. Show off your skills. So this is one where you can really add in. This is big for people in college because of the fact that, again, the jobs that you may or may not have may not be what you want to do in the future. So use the skills section to really emphasize that. I highly recommend to make sure that this is separate from what your experience section is, especially if it's volunteer work, because there are ability to break it out more. So what I mean by that is if you were to look at mine, actually, I'm going to pull up. I adore this woman. She and I used to work together for a very long time. You can tell talent acquisition tells you where she is, tell her contacts, all those different details, her activity that's on there. You can see her experience within that space. It shows education, and then it also shows licenses and certifications, clubs that you're in, certifications that you're in from different things in UMKC, skills that you have. There is an endless amount of skills that you can put in there. So if you're wanting to showcase things and make sure that it's in there, you can do that and add that in there as well. You can do recommendations. You can have any of those interests areas that you're in as well. For instance, on mine, a big piece here is I have recommendations from different people that have been given. I have endorsements. I have different experience within that space in education. Use this to really emphasize volunteer work, things that you're doing, certifications, all the education that you're getting in that space. That is a key piece to be able to make sure that you have. That way your interests are clearly shown. They know what you're interested in. They're able to see the additional pieces because sometimes that license or certification can be the thing that sets you apart from the person that they're viewing as well too. Okay, we're gonna dig in deeper. So bio, this is that first line. This is going to be one of the biggest pieces to take away from this. There's two ways you can do it. One way that you can do it is just a straight sentence, which is what you had seen as well. It is something that, for instance, Danny was a great one on that. Talent acquisition advisor, information technology. Another person that is a good one for that is, who else would be a good one? Oh yeah, creating big picture digital solutions. That is a great thing. You can literally leave it at that. You can choose whatever it is you want it to be. Again, it's what we talked about. You can put your major in there. You can put in aspiring whatever at University of Missouri, Kansas City. Make this to be clear of what you want and what job you want and what you want after college. If it aligns with the job that you have now, wonderful, put that as your title. Otherwise, make sure it's clear, even if it's just finance student at University of Missouri, Kansas City. Wonderful, now I know more about you. That is all that I'm asking for. Very straightforward. You can also do it the way that I do, because my job has had a lot of different hats that I've worn. One title does not cover it for the things that I have. So I chose to do it in a different standpoint, and that standpoint is keyword structure. So keyword structure is going to really make it to where they can clearly see what it is you bring to the table. Again, it's talking about that piece where those keywords are what they're looking for that is going to resonate with the job that they have. So if you are someone that you know what job that you want and you know those keywords, you can put those into and have that space. So you can make sure that you have specific ones out of the gates at the top part of it. It's up to you and how you choose it. It is not that deep though. Keep it as simple, as streamlined as possible. Do not make this 57 lines. Otherwise we're going to lose interest and we're not going to read all of it. It's going to be a blur. Do not put too many keywords into this space. But again, senior at UMKC seeking marketing internship. Perfect. Beautiful. Tells me everything I need to know. Yes.
Structures when you do like business administration, student, and KC, it's fine, like, and then separate it, it's fine.
Yes, you can. And you can make two lines if you want, where you can put that line and then you can put some keywords at the bottom if you so choose. So you can merge it as much as you want to. You can make sure you tuck in a few keywords where possible, that it makes sense in a sentence structure. That kind of stuff is going to stand out as well too. So absolutely. Again, kind of like this driven social media specialist, passionate about search engine optimization. You can throw in different pieces. Most people just say SEO, but if you spell it out, then that's going to make it to all of those pieces are caught within that window as well too. Yes.
Like, like within the school, different like someone had a program to do for that in there.
No, because I would put that in your about information. So I would keep it more high level than that because you want to just make it towards what you want to do. It should be a line or two at most. So the about information is basically your cover letter, your elevator pitch. That is where I would put that information, which that is the about section. So, I have some fun paperwork for you guys. We're gonna do some breakout pieces on these. I know, that's a bit offer. Don't put it past me. I should go on the class. We'll send it to you guys after and sure that you have a copy of it. And I'll pull it up real fast so you can see what it is that you do this breakdown. First and foremost, which I probably should have asked before, how many of you guys have a LinkedIn profile already? Okay, I figured most people do, but every now and then someone doesn't, so I always like to double check first. How many of you guys are familiar with an elevator pitch? Okay. So elevator pitch is a beautiful thing. It is going to make it where you're confident talking to anyone and everyone. It is named after the concept of if you were in an elevator with the one person who could give you your dream job, you have 30 seconds, what do you say? And this is what that builds for you. You want to make it to where they're interested to talk more, and that is the point of it. You want to summarize yourself as a human being and what your goals are. That makes it clear so they understand that they can help that. So this is a different workshop piece that I'm going to give you guys some time to go through this. It breaks it out into what those core sections are. Making sure you break it out with your name first and foremost. Making sure that they know who are you in that space. And then making sure they understand the situation that you're in as well. A brief overview of talking about organizations you're in, applicable skills. Tailor this to who you're talking to. Making sure that it's high level and summarizes you. It can be personal or professional. Give them something that is unique to you. For instance, I volunteer at Therapeutic Barn for me. I would mention that because that stands out and that is a conversation topic point. And it tells them what I'm passionate about and something that is a place that I will make sure that I prioritize in my workspace and be able to bring in as a person and who I am. A connection between, whether it's not, even if it's something as simple as, hey, you know, I'm very passionate about the finance space and I know that you guys do financial advising. Great, you have a connection point. That is it. Even if it's simple as, you know, I'm based in Kansas City and looking to find an internship, wonderful. Keep it as simple and as to the point as possible. And then finally, a question, so that once you end this, then it goes into a conversation. Something like, hey, I've heard that you guys have internship programs. Can you please explain more about what that internship opportunity is? Or whatever it may be that you want to end that with, relative to the information that we have, ask that at the end of it. That way it gives them an opportunity instead of just staring at each other, that it flows and you're encouraging with where you want that conversation to go. So take a look at this, write some stuff down. I'll give you a few minutes to really dig into it and then we'll regroup from there. And then. Nope. Yep, I'm trying to find the email that had the additional, I want the other three in there. It's gonna be here. This one, got it. Okay, for you people who are in the chat, this is what it is that we're looking at. Open in Word. There we go. So I'm going to scroll down to here. So if you're on the Zoom link, these are the questions of what they're looking at as well, so that you can take a few minutes to use this for yourself too. If you have any questions on it, let me know.
That is my favorite thing to say with that, because this is something that when I see this, I get so excited. If somebody in a resume, if somebody in a LinkedIn about section, if somebody in the elevator pitch talks about, hey, I'm really passionate about, what is it that your major is? What is it that you want to do with that? Okay. So if you talk about a group project, you're like, yeah, and I really got into this aspect of building my own business because of this group project where we were able to work with a client and bring that revenue up to 100% this. I mean, perfect. That is real world experience that we get. And part of that is you're going to this university for a reason. You're going to these platforms. From that, they give you insight. So the perfect thing to add in, that could be the connection piece too, where you're talking about whatever maybe with that company that you're interested in. Say, hey, I know I want to do this. Yeah. And tie that in. So yes, great point. Friends, but like now I have a but like if long term goals, but I'm just like sound like to I don't know. I would open it up. If you don't know if they have an opportunity, you don't know if it was part-time, you don't know if they do link for internship. I would just make it clear like that in this area. I would love to get experience and start to take on work and explore job opportunities. That is a big thing for current students. And maybe that's something like that. So I open up the door like, hey, really, yeah, and then they'll tell you, yes, it's a summer internship, or yes, you do, apprenticeship throughout the winter time as well. They'll tell you a lot of different details based on what their companies do. And half the time, looking on their website, you're gonna have that as well, but you never know. Sometimes they have opportunities for people interested, not full flight program. Yeah, so, what can you offer, we'll make sure to have a note interview, so like a summarizing, this is more of like, hey, I'm excited. What was it? Yeah, I think.
So one of the other things, I was letting you know that for sure, they were doing that, more on the seven, I don't know what you could do, but the cells, like, for sure, and I have. But it's like different, and I'm like, oh, how we know that. So what do you think about that? Yeah, yeah, I mean, I think this is like, I think very much the I want to like, you know, going back on, there was like, going on again, kind of. Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be. Yeah, it's like. And you know, it's like, but it's like, it's so hot, but at night it's cold, and it's starting to flip flop like that. And that's the thing too, is like, nobody knows if there's allergies or not, they still are doing nothing. Yeah. That's sick and no idea. He's like, you don't know, it's not their fault. Yeah, I'm saying it's not. Not a, we all at some point have some form of,
yes, battling it, working through it. How are you guys feeling? You feel good with that? Okay, we get to do a fun thing. You're gonna hate me for 5 minutes and then you're gonna like me again. You were gonna pair with someone, you're gonna say this out loud. Okay. I know you don't wanna do it. Trust me, you're gonna gain so much from this experience. I promise I wouldn't make you do it otherwise. And if it's an odd number, you can do it in groups of 3, but make sure you just verbalize it outside to someone. And then you're gonna realize just how much you wanna change things after you say it out loud. Mhm. I will on the way out, don't you worry. There's something in the air about the traffic too, because when I tell you, it's looking so much longer than it really.
Just going everywhere in the city. Like I just plan on just leaving early, just anywhere I go because I feel like I hit traffic in one way, shape, or
I left at 4:15.
are you serious?
Oh, really?
You got here in 5.
I know. I'm like, we're in it. We're in it.
Yeah, because Overland Park, you know, it took you an hour to get here.
Uh-huh. No,
That's crazy.
no, it shouldn't.
I live in Bonner Springs, so I come from Bonner Springs to here every day.
I go up the barn that I volunteer at is up near Bonner Springs area.
For
Great Plains Therapeutic.
oh, yeah. So, and granted, it's all highway, so that's cool. But if it's something on the highway and 35, oh my God.
Warzone.
Yeah. So, but if it's not nothing on the highway, I can do it in 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah. Get it knocked out. That's nice.
So it's not bad.
No.
But even in Bonner, like we got construction in Bonner, they're building a new truck stop. And they're just putting all kinds of stuff out there.
Yeah.
And then there's always something at the Speedway.
Yeah.
So
Which is good for them. Yay. Their American Oil coming up next
Yeah,
month. They're
I
gonna
know.
love that.
they're building that up too, and they're getting that up fast. And it's no time.
They did not.
So I still clear over there because there's so much construction over there. Like I just don't even go over that way.
Traffic,
I go around like yeah. But I like it. It's pretty quiet out there. Everybody, for the most part, at least in our neighborhood, everybody pretty much kind of stays to themselves. So.
In Olathe, I'm like, go north.
And we're only like, cause I take K7, so Olathe only takes me like 15 minutes to get to Olathe.
Yeah.
You can take K7 all the way to
I
like Santa
I
Fe.
go Olathe up K7 and then go to the
Mhm.
barn.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Very familiar with all the stoplights they're adding in. Okay, how are you guys feeling with that? Pretty good? Okay, sweet. Do you feel like there's a lot of things you want to change after saying it out loud? Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. This is something you'll fine tune indefinitely. It's as you evolve, as you gain more skills, as you talk to different people, it's going to be different. So always make sure that you're fine tuning that. But use this as a baseline. Career fairs, this is what you should be walking up and saying to someone at a career fair. That way, when you leave, they know who you are. They have a good impression of that piece of it. So make sure that you have those aspects. So this is a paper for you guys to keep. Use it as a baseline, use it as a template. If there's anything you take away from this, have a better idea of what your goals are, who you are, and what impression you want to leave with anyone that you talk to. Employer, potential client, colleague, anything along those lines. This should be something that you can easily pull out and be able to lean on as well. Okay. The next section, going through here as well too. Experience section. It's cutting off weird on that. That is okay for now. I don't know if it's just pulling weird on that or template or from any of those pieces, but that's fine. Experience section, we kind of talked about this already as it is. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. So we had talked about this piece. This is what your resume is, high level. So just making sure, the main things that I always want to add in here that you can't really read as well. Your tense matters. If you use past tense for a present tense job, I noticed that it irks me like crazy. Make sure that you follow and pay attention to what your tense is when you're doing things like that. Again, it's what we talked about, making sure that you're not just copying your resume in, leave things that make me want to reach out to you and talk to you. So give the high level summaries, the bullet points that I can digest quickly and easily, that I want to talk to you and get more information that a resume would provide me. Don't add volunteer work because there's an organization section. Keep those separate. The only difference is if you held a job at a volunteer organization, that is employment, put that in the experience section. Get creative. Again, the articles and videos that you can add in there is so helpful because it's going to tell people more about who you are and adding in that experience piece of it that you'll gain from it. And then the keywords, especially in the experience section, making sure that you have that, because if in those little areas, bullet points or the paragraphs, really emphasize things that you know are going to be keywords. If you see when you're looking through job descriptions, look at the common words that they use in roles you want to apply for. Use those in your experience section. Use that as a guide for whatever it is that you're doing. So if you're looking for an entry-level social media manager, look at those job postings, look at the common keywords they're looking for, incorporate the ones that you have in your experience section. Don't put skills in that you don't have. We will find out, trust me. We are smart. We know how to interview. We will find out within a couple questions if you do or do not have those skills. And it leaves a worse impression and it knocks you out of contention for future jobs because we know you're not honest on that piece. So yes, make sure that you are highlighting and fluffing up the things that you do, but make sure you can actually do those skills if you are going to start that job. Big piece on that. The golden rules for engagement. Again, what do you want to be known for? If you are doing a direct message with an employer, a colleague, anything along those lines, what is the intent? Why are you reaching out to them? Why are you using LinkedIn to reach out to them? Not email, not text, not anything along those lines. Make sure you're being intentional with that piece because it is a professional platform as well. Grammar and spelling, pay attention to it. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. It's totally fine. We understand that. But if it's really, really bad, that is the same as if you were to send an email to someone in a professional workspace. That kind of stuff matters. Try to pay attention and make sure that you're sending things that are more of a professional space within that. Showcase your personality. So if you are making posts, if you're putting things out there, showcase your personality. Make sure that you have different things that really emphasize like, hey, I really enjoyed this piece here. Or, hey, I saw this really funny thing on campus the other day. Things that you can put on there that showcase who you are, or fun project that you have, or lessons that you learned from a group aspect, or a case study presentation, or something that was done in a club that you're part of. All of those are things that can round out who you are that I will see in your posts that you have as well. They don't have to be rigid. You can add personality to them. This last one is the biggest piece, and every year I have to basically yell at my interns from the previous year because they make this wonderful post about how they love the internship and they don't tag me and they don't tag the company. I'm like, what are you doing? Tag us, because then my network is now your network. Their post
is shown to all the people in my network. So it expands the people that are seeing them. The company ties are to them. Anytime you tag someone, that someone's network sees that post. It is a critical thing. It really highlights the fact that you made intentional relationships because now you're tagging someone, you're pulling them in. So it really emphasizes how seriously you took it. And actually, I had seen, I don't know if it's still up there or not. There had been, yeah, you'll see data leaders, things like this. Down syndrome, talking about her family, talking about personal things that are still professional. You can put as much stuff on here as you want. The fact that this person has their own company and they're talking about work-life balance, that they can visit their kid, but that is relevant to their job. Talking about intentional, being in the moment. They are someone that works on therapy on that aspect. There's so many things that you can do. The fact that she took off 4 weeks sick, but she's still able to do her job. That is something that's important to her. So she's going to put that in our social network. These are all things that you can do. This is stuff of like my company posting and talking about career fair season, all the places that I will be and my colleagues will be. So showcasing that and being able to comment, share, like everything that is impactful within that space. There had been one I had seen earlier, and I'm curious if it's going to show that piece or not. No, it's not. Dang it. I think it was MU. Will it show it? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. I swear this is what we'll see if we remember. Yes. So things as simple as taking pictures and saying and tagging that. Thank you who were able to join us and for doing these aspects and pieces. This week, students learned about this from this person who organized it, from this piece here. Thank you for all who attended. Tag your people, tag your companies. It's as simple as that. It is just saying what it is that the purpose was, what you gained, and putting those pieces in. If it's an internship, having at least one picture from your internship. I hope it was fun enough that you did one thing that you have a picture from. And having the ability to showcase those pieces and say, hey, I really enjoyed this internship. Thank you so much for whoever your mentors are, the key people that you really worked with. If it's a class that you really enjoyed, tagging that professor and saying how much of an impact that they had on that piece of it. So you can use this as much as you want to, get creative, but please, for the love of God, tag people. It's going to help you in the long run. Make sure that you are close enough with that person that it makes sense that you tag them and they're not going to go, who's this person and why did they tag me? But those are pieces that can really help you with your LinkedIn presence as well too. Common miss. You can't be funny. Yes, you can. There are so many people that gain traction on LinkedIn because of their humor, because of their honesty, and because of their transparency. What they don't do is say things that are inappropriate for a social media platform. They don't do things that are inappropriate for being on there. They're not talking about going out to the bars on a Thursday night and still showing up to work on Friday. That is not what they are talking about. They are saying how much they appreciate a flexible work from home, that they can be able to work from where they need on Friday and not say why. There are lines and boundaries. We need to make sure that we keep that place professional in what you're posting and why. But you can always post things of like, hey, I have a work buddy today, and it is your cat laying on your desktop. I mean, this is totally up to you on your page and what that looks like. Make it your own. Choose what tone you want. Again, who is your audience? Who are you reaching out to? Why are you making these posts? That will help to dictate what it is that you want to showcase in that space. The second one is that there's better days and times to post. We all know in the world of social media that they're like, if you post to Instagram at 10 and 2, it's the best times, everybody's online. Not true with LinkedIn because of the fact it's global. So what is right now, my twin lives in Switzerland. It is 6 o'clock here. It is 7 hours ahead there. It's midnight. That girl should be asleep. However, here is a good time for that. If I were to post this at midnight, it'd be middle of her day. So it does not matter. It depends on your audience. It depends on who you're trying to reach. And all those things at the end of the day, post it. It will be there. It's fine. There's nothing of like, ooh, I can't post it because it's not the perfect time. Don't let that get in the way. That is not a thing. Personal life stays off LinkedIn. I just showed you 6 examples of how much that's not true, of how much there's a shift in work and life balance. Again, within moderation. We don't want to be seeing things that you would not or would get in trouble with at work. Make sure you are keeping it professional on that aspect. Quite frankly, if it's not something you would want your boss to see, I wouldn't put it on social media at all. I would keep it off every single platform, especially because of the fact that as a recruiter, I'm doing social media checks. I am checking everything. Guess what? I am not ancient. I know how to find you all on every single piece of social media.
I can find you on Instagram, I can find you on Twitter. I do, and I'm checking those pieces depending on the role I'm hiring. Again, if your role is not dependent on social media, they're probably not checking it. But if I'm hiring you as a social media manager, you bet I'm finding you on everything to make sure that what you're doing is something that we would want our clients to have as well as on brand and on that team. More keywords, the better. Again, you can use hashtags. Don't use 57. It's the same as when Instagram went through that phase where people use 57 hashtags at the end of all of their posts. Don't do that. Don't be that person. But make sure that what it is that you're looking at, add those different keywords. If you're having a post, reasons why of, you know, hashtag Adobe, if you're going to a conference or you have different pieces in that space, just add in different pieces that are going to make it to where it pulls in someone that is searching for that keyword as a recruiter. Because when I am searching candidates on LinkedIn, because I can use that as a recruiting tool, I add in certain keywords and it's going to pull me profiles that use those words, including the posts that they put in there as well. So those are going to help to make sure that if I'm on LinkedIn looking for you guys, I can find you easier because you're making my job easier on that piece. Questions on any of it, on the posting piece of it, the miss, no matter any of those aspects of it. Yeah.
Everybody, you talk about different stuff and have a bigger picture. And we're gonna-
I transition from out of that into conversation.
Like, introduce yourself,
So if you're looking at that transition piece, I'll grab an example of these just so I have right in front of me. If you're looking at the piece from introducing yourself, so if you're saying, you know, my name is Sarah, I'm a senior at University of Kansas City, majoring in marketing, majoring in business administration with an emphasis in marketing. I am passionate about, and that is simply one word I'm passionate about, and then I go into a community. Or I'm interested in getting into the space of social media, or into the space of search engine optimization. Using different phrases like that, and then a new bigger goal that, and I am aspiring towards, or I am aiming to achieve. And I'm totally honest, guys, you can plug this stuff into ChatGPT, and it can help you find certain words that you do this now. It is a really great tool in certain areas. Don't let it be for you. Do not let it have your own personality. You just never do the thing, and it's gonna come across the face and if it's a reverse speech, I'm gonna know it. So make it a conversation of who you are in that aspect, that you can use it to help you find those words and those things. That is a great thing to have in the next. So even if it's things that I'm looking for, great, wonderful, tells you that they're looking for. I enjoy X, Y, Z. Lovely. Those are things that I want to know as well. So finding those transition words to help you go from big to two different areas and remembering the point of what it is you're trying to do. That is something that you can do. Why am I telling this person this? That's going to help you go to that class. I'm not sure. That helps.
How valuable are?
Depends what you're doing, honestly. So if you are a motivational speaker, your endorsement to your lifeline. And that is something that you want to see. So making sure that you have those aspects. For instance, there is a phenomenal motivational speaker based here in Kansas City that has a great LinkedIn page, and she is very active because this is her network. So her key, the things that she has is going to be big. And again, talking through, look at that cover photo. That is intentionally built out for this. That is a big piece that's going to show you within that space. Talking about for here, because of the fact that she is a public speaker, she speaks in third person in this. You can totally do that. Probably not applicable to you guys in the space that you're in, but this is, you can make this your own. Here's the featured pieces that I talked about. You can have all of these different websites, places, articles, things that are within that. You can feature that at the top so that people see that first. And they're able to see all of the work that you put in. They can see all of the different things that you're posting. They can see all the activity that you have, and they can make sure that you're seeing all the different endorsements within that space. So skills, endorsements, recommendations. You can see that there's all of these people that are going in here and building out that space of it. So this is entirely dependent on you and what it is you're going into. And also, as you get into the workspace and as you get more jobs, that changes. But it's not something that every single person has to have. It's not a deal breaker by any means. It just is
very found a job. I see it a lot in technology, actually. A lot of times it's taking person training the products that bring that stuff. That is a big group that tends to do the side of it. I'm sorry, your message was a friend of mine who may or may not be looking at this. Yeah, I love how small the world is. She's phenomenal. So yes, you can ask her more about stuff like that. She'll tell you about how she built her brand on LinkedIn and how that is a place to get connections and be able to stay in contact with people in brand history and identify people who get connected. And that is the biggest thing when you post that, you're gonna get connected with more and more people. When we talk a lot about what we want to see on Facebook, what do you like, what is like a big thing that really,
People posting and not having an event. If it is just something where you are posting that you went for a walk today, wonderful. What is the purpose of putting that on LinkedIn? Making sure that it is professional. Again, I don't want to see when you're going out to bars. I don't want to see things that you would share with friends on Instagram or stories or Snapchat and things like that. And some people cross those lines. They use profanity in ways that they should. I definitely don't want to see profanity on them. Some people in certain aspects of the work that they are in are able to use that, and that is fine within their workspace. Most are not. So just making sure that it's respectful, putting out anything that is hate is not good. So coming out there and just being really out there, that is something that is polarizing and it's not conducive to a good connected community. So those are things that I don't see. I want to see things that uplift. I want to see things that open good conversations. Things of like, hey, even if it's work from home or in person, that's a huge topic in 2021 and going into the future. And opening up about how do you guys feel about it? What do you think workplaces should do? That is a conversation in those comments. Like it's like 500 comments. People get in the weeds on that stuff. But it's a conversation of, hey, I'm able to get more done because I'm not here. Or hey, I get more when I talk to people and I meet them in the hallways and I get more things done. You can learn more about people's perspective on that, and that is the important. So again, it's thinking back to why are you using it? What is the purpose? If it is not something that could be on LinkedIn, then that's a frustrating point. So, good question. Anything else? This is a great tool, and being in college, this is the only time that employers come to you guys. Make it easier for us to find you, to follow up, to have those conversations. If you saw someone at the career fair and they have not followed up with you, go find them, go message them on LinkedIn. You know their companies, you know who are there. If not, you have great team to reach out and talk to. If you're not confident in your resume, you have a great team that you can talk to that can help with that, including resume paper, all of those resources, proofing it, getting someone else's eyes on it to have those information and pieces. Use that. You want to have that once you graduate. Everything after you graduate, you will have to get in front of someone and really working to get in front of all of them. So now is the time that you have recruiters who are here talking to you, getting in front of you first. Make it easier for us to find you. That is the point of LinkedIn for now and building that foundation. But once you graduate, you have it established to continue building upon as well. Yeah. It also helps too, because then if you get down the road and you're trying to remember all the dates of when you had employment, you can look at this and go, I don't know when I was a waitress at this place. What year was that? I can now look at that and find it easily. This is basically my tracker of all of my jobs that I've had and things that I've done. So that's also plus I can keeping up to date now, so it makes it easier for you down the way. Anything else? Any questions right now? Okay. Do you feel like you gained anything from that? Was this helpful at all? No. You can tell me otherwise. I'm that's thick skin. I can take it. Cool. If you have any other questions, let me know. This is recorded, so it's something that will be able to get sent out to you to have that information. Again, just you'll build it as you see other people that you're like, oh, I like how they posted that, or I like what their profile or cover photo, I like the about information. Use that. Use other people's as an example of how you want to build it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's other people out there as well to start to explore and really dig into LinkedIn and use it for potential. Cool. Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for sticking with me. Sorry, I ran over on you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Like you said, online, we will make sure you guys get the sheet. I will upload this sheet for everybody to have access to it in case you do not keep your papers. That's okay. We make everything electronic. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to submit hours for this.